All right, we're back. Performance Matters podcast. First off, big shout out to our sponsor, Pete Method Photography, the premier sportsographer in the Niagara region. If you want to get in touch, go to www.petemethodphotography.com or via email, petemethodphotography@gmail.com. Support local. Couple recaps. Squattoberfest 2025. Big thank you to everyone who made the time to come out. It's the people that show up that make the event like a huge success, right? We saw some people get on the bar. Whether or not you hit a PR is besides the point. It's just the fact that you had the guts to get after it. Put yourself out there. Thanks to everyone who came to support and showed up. And, it's nice to always have those events where people can kind of mingle outside of a structured setting and just, get to know more about each other and then just obviously get after, right? We're kind of celebrating a fun month under the bar. So big success. Thank you to everyone that came out. And hopefully you all had a great time. As we approach the new month, now we're looking into Rovember. We're doing this for Men's Health through the Movember.com page. So if anyone wants to get involved, a couple ways you can do it. Either you can donate to our Movember page, you can find on the website, or if you want to participate, you can go on what's the app called? It's the
ErgZone
app.
ERG Zone.
You can go with the ErgZone app and you can look up Rovember 2025. It's like $7 to get the app and all that kind of stuff. If you wish to participate and you're not an IPC member, feel free to go ahead and do that. You could also go on our website and see the Rovember t-shirt sales. They're $30 and all proceeds go directly to Movember for Men's Health. So
the link for that is in the bio. I put it in there yesterday.
There you go. So we have a link in the bio. If you guys wish to get a shirt, go on Instagram page and you can get the Rovember tees. All proceeds again are going directly to the Movember Health for Men's Health support.
Designed once again by our very own Destiny Renson.
That's right. And fun fact, if you wish to participate in the Rovember, I think it's like 3 erg workouts a week, all programmed by our very own Dave Teutenberg. He was like top 15 at the rowing indoor championships, world championships like a couple of years ago for his age, which is fantastic. So he put a whole program together for the month of Rovember. And then on November 29th, around 10, I think it was like 10 to 11:30 in the morning, we're just going to have people do their 500-meter best time, right? So it's a short burst, but something manageable. If you guys wish to show up for that, of course, come on out. It's free. If you want to get after it, by all means. Otherwise, you have a couple options. If nothing else, we're just trying to raise some money for a good cause and, of course, just get a good sweat going. So a lot of ways you can get involved for Rovember 2025. So
last but not least being our raffle. So we do have a couple of awesome raffle prizes. We're going to be starting to actually sell tickets next week, but we have a prize pack from the Niagara River Lions. That's going to be really exciting. And then we also have some things we're going to be putting up as well, some IBC swag packs, and then some other local businesses have donated as well. So all the proceeds from that raffle will go straight to the fund as well.
Fantastic. Great month of just, again, community, charity, getting after it, supporting. So I think we had a great episode last time. We had like all three of us, which I think I do again. That was fun.
100% would do that again.
That was fun. It was good having all three of us kind of chop it up, tell some stories. I think recently, like some of the questions we've had pop up, I think one came up, I think it was this morning. Parents are asking like, why aren't kids stretching? You know what I mean? Like what's the deal with stretching and all that kind of stuff? What would you respond to that?
So I would have a couple of responses. My first thing would be, we need to reframe really what stretching is. Yeah. So when they say, why aren't they stretching, it's probably because they picture the classic gym class, like, arm across the chest and then sit on the floor and reach and touch your toes. And like that stuff there's nothing wrong with it. But my answer would be, well, the kids are stretching, right? They're stretching under load. So the two birds with one stone approach that we take is actually lifting through a full range of motion most of the time. Okay. Yeah. Yes, we know that there is time and place for partial range lifting for different reasons, but for the most part, with this age demographic of athletes, with this time of year, lifting through a full range of motion is going to actually increase our mobility while we're also getting stronger and learning how to own those positions. So my answer would be, well, actually they are stretching. It just looks different than what you probably think it looks like. So doing their full range of motion split squats, right? Doing your chin-ups where you actually get a full elbow extension with a full shoulder flexion, for example. And the list could go on. I would say, full range squatting, whatever it may be, that is their stretching.
Yeah. I think, too, because it is I get it, the old school 90s, early 2000s type shit in gym class. I think, again, it's all context driven. So it's like, for example, we're still doing a sufficient warm up as well, right? So
yeah, of course, yeah.
A lot of the dynamic stuff is still stretching, quote unquote, by nature, right? We're having them do airplanes or world's greatest stretch or Spider-Man's, whatever. It's like they're just doing it in motion, right? And again, there's science to prove that stretching is again, done too often in a static position is actually detrimental to performance. right? The whole point of quote unquote stretching, I would just kind of bucket as like, okay, let's just talk about warming up or, going through a fluid range of motion to prepare. That's the whole point. So by doing the warm up, and then if we're going to our working stuff, we're doing like working sets, at certain percentages, that's going to help prepare them through those ranges of motion, under load, like you said, but also the supplemental stuff that we're actually building into the main stuff, right? It's like, if it's not just we're squatting, that's all we're doing. We're jumping, that's all we're doing. It's like, there's all these little other things that we're building into it supplementally, like, hey, in between your squat and this, you're doing like a
handcuff or something.
Like a handcuff, or like last night, my girls were doing like sissy squats, or they were doing hand assisted skaters, like
stretching under load,
all that stuff, right? Totally. Or things like RDL, whatever it is. So like all those things, I think it's just clarifying for them. Like, what do you think it is, and then what do you feel like that is something that is like the magic bullet?
And what do you think that these things that we're actually doing are not also covering that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what were you told that made it sound like that's the ticket? You know what I mean? Again, I think it's that naive simplicity, and it's no fault of their own that ask those questions because they don't know. As long as they have like a curiosity approach, like they're not like being hard for like, well, why aren't they stretching? It's like,
if it's questioning and it's not suggestive, then like I'll take those questions all day. I love
it. I have no problem having those educational collaborative discussions. It's when they start having this like black or white, that's the answer. It's like, but based on what? Like, what makes you think that? And prove it that that's the magic bullet.
But everybody loves studies. There's studies that will have a group where they just stretch for 6 weeks, and then a group where they just do strength training, and like the injury reduction in like the strength training only group was like, oh my god, 70, 80, or 90%, some crazy high number, and the stretching was like 5%, right? Of injury reduction.
Huge margin of difference.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's just kind of clarifying, well, what do you mean by, like, let's put it in context. What do you mean and what you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think that way?
Right.
Right? And then comparing to what we've been doing is like, can you not see that what you think we're not doing is actually built into what we're doing, but actually in a more beneficial, optimal way? And if not, then we can have a better discussion after that.
Right.
But that's this old school thinking, right? Like it's educational component. I welcome those questions all day long. But again, everyone has the out of town expert. So it's like, if you generally are curious, you know what I mean, not suggestive, then if you're curious, we can take those all day long. So by all means, like that's just the component of us trying to evolve over the years and help better educate. And that's getting better over time, obviously, right? Because like people are more aware of certain things now than they were in the past. And then what was the other question that you were just talking about? We had...
Well, so I was pretty excited, I'll say. I hit a PR this week on a push press, 130 kilos. I was excited because that's a little bit of a side thing too. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say that PR took me fucking 6 years. I've tried that, and I sent it to Isaac because I knew he would know. He's seen me fail it like 100 times. And he was like, man, you've been trying that forever. And like, it's a bit of a unique lift, obviously, the timing and the coordination of it, because I've hit 125 for like triples multiple times in my life, but I could never get 130. Okay, for anybody out there, it's only 11-pound difference. So I had posted that on my story, and I'm slamming the bar, I'm all excited, whatever. And so one of our clients, Riley, asked me, like, at this point, like, how often do you hit PRs? Just like a genuine curiosity question. He's a little bit newer in his strength training journey, so to speak. So I think that was a really good question, like how often do you hit PRs? And it's kind of that diminishing returns kind of chart where, when you first start training, like you're hitting PRs every week. I remember when I first started training in high school, grade 9, I started in grade 9, my bench was 135 pounds, right? 60 kilos, whatever, 61. And by the time I went to grade 10, I was 200 pounds. So what did I do? I started doing the math. I said, man, like, okay, so 65 pounds a year. I'm like, so by the time I get to grade 12, I'm going to bench like 450 or whatever the number is. And now I'm 30 years old. I still haven't benched 450. So I realized pretty quick, like, it's not actually that simple. So first things first, you're going to hit a lot more PRs early on in the process, right? And like a lot of it too is neurological. So I always kind of say, like, it's like learned strength or like a realized strength. I never read that in a textbook. I just kind of made it up. But my point was, like, if you take a farmer, let's say, okay, they've been on the farm their whole life. Like, they're strong. They're undeniably strong. They just don't have the skill of lifting a barbell. They've never done it.
Yeah.
Right? Brett Golding, first time he ever did a power clean, 275. Okay, 125 kilos for our kilo people. Like, some people train for years and don't hit that. So my point is, but he grew up like, big, strong Dudville farm kid. That's like realized strength. So when you take one of these guys in the gym and the first time they deadlift like 60 kilos, next week 90, next week 120, next week whatever, like soon enough, like those guys would get up to like mid 3, maybe 400 pounds real quick. Because the strength they already had, they just didn't know how to use it. They didn't have the skill. Then once your skill kind of tops out and your technique gets pretty solid, like you can always adjust it, but once your technique is kind of dialed in, then you really start training. Then That's why I would say the frequency of PRs is going to become a lot less, right?
Yeah. It takes
Gymnasts too. Think about gymnasts, like super strong. Not a lot of them lift like for their training. It's just like crazy body weight strength and stuff. But there's stories of gymnasts who never trained before pulling like 405 on a deadlift too, right? Like,
yeah.
So,
it's really just a skill component.
yeah,
I think it goes
take the
back
strength you had and apply it.
Goes back to all those conversations. There's hierarchies, right? Like what got you to like 400 now is not going to take you to 500 versus 600.
Yeah,
it's
true
like
enough.
You start to have to be a little more specific, a little more, on point with what you're doing, how much you're doing, when you do it,
Yeah.
and all the after effects of how do I prepare to do it again. Like it's very true, right? Like that's exactly the tip of that curve. Like, okay, you've capped out your skill, you've capped out your realized strength. Now, how do I improve my strength aspect while still making sure I hold on to the optimal skill set that I have now?
Right.
So for all those guys out, there's not really a finite answer.
Right.
There's really not a finite answer. Like a lot of times, like the stars have to align. Like everything has to kind of be going your way. If you're truly trying to set a PR in something that is like it makes you squirm everything else, like you really have to have like there's a little bit of luck to it. Like you have to make sure you slept the right way, everything went the right way. And the more like you kind of hone in on your process, you're just simply reducing your likelihood of missing. That's all it is. There's still a chance you can miss it, but at least it's reduced.
And you got to do a lot more things correctly.
You have to do a lot more things.
A lot of the basics. Like, so, the older I get, like, I'm 30. I'm not old. I hate when people say, oh, God, I'm getting old. Like, shut up, you're not old. But I'm older than I was when I hit a lot of these other weights.
Yeah, you're not 22, 23, 24
so
years old.
I find now, like, I never was a big drinker, but back then, like, me and Mario had so many sessions where we, like, went out on whatever night at school, and then we went and lifted the next morning and, like, hit PRs. Right? So, like, sometimes I would joke and say, oh, maybe that's a secret. Of course it's not. But I just know for a fact I could not do that now. Right? If I didn't get my 8 hours and I didn't get my little meal and my nice, like, hydration, like, there's no chance in hell it's happening. So
train differently.
Should have always taken care of those things, always tried to take care of those things, but now they're more like not just a good idea, now they're like necessary, I would find, right? Like
there is a necessity to it. I think that kind of leads in nicely too. So we were talking to one of our hockey guys this morning because we were talking about, they were talking about like this fitness testing thing they were doing. He was showing it to me. And again, I always have this kind of, I'm always skeptical with fitness testing, right? Because like there are certain normative standards, but again, they're not perfect. So a lot of coaches will kind of make up their own fitness testing, and that's all well and good. But again, it's well intentioned. But like, what are you comparing it to, and like, how does this correlate to them being a better hockey player? Do you have a history of running this assessment or battery of tests?
Right.
That tends to like, hey guys, I get really good on all these things, tend to also be our best players.
I was gonna say stack all the result tables right beside the list of like, plus minus points per game, like and if they're in the same order, then you have some pretty good tests over here. If not, maybe it doesn't matter.
So there's like some things on there like, okay, like it's a body strength. How many push-ups can you do in a minute? It's like, okay.
It's the classic football stupid 225 test.
Yeah,
you get 40 reps. That's not football.
Like however many laps are on the track. What's your time? There's a whole bunch of other things, and ironically, I don't think they did any like true like sprint testing or jump testing, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So you're like, okay, a good battery of tests is kind of covering, I'd say, 2 avenues, right? Or like maybe 3 avenues. It's like, okay, do you have the capacity to, for a typical game, if you're a high minute player, like do these assessments kind of correlate to your ability to do a shift hard, get the average shift rest, and then do that at the same outputs time and time again. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, if you take a volleyball player as an example, they have their max jump height. Okay, what's your 4 jump look like? Can you hit like what's the decline of your jump height after 4 or 5 attempts? Right? If it's a very minimal decline, great. Then you could say, hey, you have the endurance to hit the same outputs at the same speeds for X amount of duration.
Right.
So I think you have to kind of like look at that avenue. Then you kind of want to look at these expressive qualities. Okay, like your sprint, your jump, all those kind of things. These are going to correlate to me being able to do the skill, like get to the puck, right? Get there first, beat them getting there. And then you might look at your strength test. Okay, if you want to do bench for body weight, trap bar for whatever, front squat, 3
things that are pretty user friendly.
Yeah,
right?
hopefully user friendly. All that kind of stuff. It's like that might help with the expressive side, but also might look on the capability side. Can you now handle the chaos of opponents coming at you? Can you take a hit? Can you take a hit and go back? Like, how are you able to now transfer that to what you have to do? So I think if it kind of covers like a few of those bases, like you might have a pretty good battery, right? But again, the only true test is going to be if you've done this standardized protocol year after year, season after season, and can you relate to, yes, our best players typically every season, they do well in these things. We can draw some sort of hypothetical conclusion.
Right.
But if you're not looking at that, then again, you're wasting time and having to do these things, and you don't actually know if you're this matters, right? So then to my next point, we're saying, okay, well, if you look at the average, like 95% of athletes will be in what we call this like gray area. It's like the middle tier.
Take
right?
the outliers out.
Take the outliers out, like middle tier, right? Then you're gonna have your outliers, like let's say Connor McDavid, Bedard, right? Kucherov, right? Ovechkin, Crosby, all those guys. They're so skilled at what they do, right? And they also have like the fan base support, like they're in the media, like all those things like that point towards them being like that person. Because of how good they are and how popular they are, a lot of the other things can be overlooked. Like the coaches aren't going to care if they fail their fitness testing.
Right.
They're not going to
you
give
don't score a goal and they go, but he was only the 4th fastest guy in the team.
Yeah,
so that goal doesn't count. There's no asterisk. Right?
They're not going to give a shit, right? But if you're a middle gray area guy, right, your job as a middle gray area player looking for an opportunity is to get to the top of the middle. Right? Get to the top of the middle so then you have a higher chance of new opportunities being presented. Right? Part of that is going to be the shit that you may not want to do, like, for example, fitness testing. Again, if it's a good battery or bad battery, it doesn't matter. If whoever you're doing it for, if that's what they care to see, fucking do good at it and do it.
Yeah, you got to play the game.
You got to play the game. And then that will simply support your ability to get top of the middle. Right? So basic things like that. And then your character, your work, all the things that you can really control outside of like your skill, your genetics.
Right. That's
just only going to help you get to the top of that gray area.
Right.
If you're not McDavid, you're not Crosby, all those guys, right? Those guys have the luxury of being overlooked on all these other things because it doesn't really matter because they're doing the thing that they're getting paid to do at the highest level, regardless.
Right.
If you're not that guy, then you have to start figuring out, like, I'm in this middle ground. How do I like really set myself apart from the middle area at the top of it, right? And they're going to look at your stats, your fitness testing, look at your character references, they're going to look at your grades, all those types of things, right? So I think athletes need to kind of hear and understand that. Like, you're not unique and everything else. Like, you're probably going to be in that gray area, which is fine. A lot of people live there. The whole point is, how can I get to the top of that middle area?
Yeah, are you trying to at least progress to the top of it?
Yeah, and do you care enough? And we've said this multiple times on multiple episodes and multiple presentations, right? Like, it's going to be, is it something that you want? Or is it just something that's nice and fluffy?
You're wishing. You want or you wish.
Right? And then what dictates that is like, okay, if someone's like, say, I want to go play D1 hockey, right? Remember, you can't have elite aspirations and make recreational decisions. You can't have D1 aspirations and make junior B decisions. It doesn't line up. If that's something that you want, that's like your North Star, your tippy top of the pyramid is my D1 aspiration, then everything else that supports that is no longer an option. It's simply a need. It doesn't matter if you like to do it, don't want to do it, dislike it. It doesn't matter. I just need to do it. Like, I don't want to go to bed early. You don't have the choice. You need to go to bed early in order to get what you want. Right. Hey, I don't like training. I don't like going to the gym. It doesn't matter if you like it or don't like it. You need to do it to have a better opportunity of chance of getting what you want. You only have the privilege of doing what you want to do after you've done everything you need to do to get what you want. So there has to be that understanding, right? Like, otherwise, like you said, it's just a wish. It's not, you don't really want something, because if you really want something, there are no options. You
need it.
You need it. There's this, people that have these ideals or these wishes, they give themselves this illusion of choice. You don't have that. That is not an option for elite people. They don't have a choice. It's a need or disregard. That's it. It doesn't matter if I want to do these things. I got to work 18 hours. I have to stay up late. I have to get this done. It doesn't matter, because I need to do those things in order to get closer to what I want.
Right.
But everyone, I think it gets muddled, right? Because you have people that will validate and support the idea of like, okay, you don't have to. I don't want to do this. Well, okay, you don't have to. It's like, okay, that's fine.
You don't have to, and you also don't have to earn this thing that you think you're chasing.
That's exactly fine. It's like, hey, if what you want is not lining up with the choices you're making, that's okay. Be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest and manage expectations. Like, if you're a junior B player and you say, tell me, hey, I just want to be the best junior B player I can be. I'm good with that. Okay, no problem. Then we're going to make junior B decisions to help you do that. Right? But if you tell me, like, well, I want to go D1 or I want to go to the pro, it's like, okay, then we're going to have to do these other things now too. Like, we have to start doing those actions that are going to get us closer to what we want. That changes a little bit, right? So the expectations and the wants and the desires have to kind of mesh, because otherwise you're going to have this conflict of, well, I say I want this thing, but I'm not actually doing the things that dictate that I'm going to get there, right? It goes back to what we've always talked about too. Like, I hate this word potential. I hate it, because I get it sounds, cynical or, kind of,
not cynical, but it sounds hopeful. It sounds mystical. It sounds like...
yeah, I don't want to sound like a fucking downer, but...
I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like,
I
I
guess
hate
it is cynical. Yeah, you don't want to sound cynical. Yeah.
Yeah, potential, like, oh, they have so much potential. Potential.
You should take that like a diss.
Yeah.
Ooh, ouch. Because it means
like,
I haven't done
there's
shit
so much
yet.
talent. They have this. It's like, that potential unproven does not exist.
Yeah.
It does not exist. Okay. I like to think of it as like, hey, you have this objective. Like, what's your projection? It's like, okay, they have so much talent, potential, whatever. It's like, okay, so you're thinking they're over here, and they're over here right now.
Yeah.
What's their trend line looking like? Is it kind of in the same direction as this potential projection?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then okay, great. And then it seems like we're doing the right things in the right path to get us closer to their quote unquote potential. But if you're saying they have so much potential and they're making all these decisions and the trend line's going this way, it's like, this is not in the same ballpark. It's like looking at a stock. Oh, this stock's going to blow up. It's like, well, let's look at the history of it.
Yeah, to the moon.
To the moon. It's like, let's look at the history of it. Not saying those things can't happen. It's just, it's highly unlikely based on the trend.
Yeah.
You can't see people for what you hope they can be. You see them for where they are now and look at where they've been and dictate a course of action or a path and say, based on the things you've done so far, this is where you're likely heading right now.
Right.
Like, doesn't mean we can't course correct. But if you don't have a history of doing any of those things, it's going to be a steeper curve to course correct, which is going to be a very hard thing to do. And it's the odds are really against you. So,
being told you have potential is like 1% better than being told you don't have potential, but that's about it. Like, it's not much better. It's like it should, like I said, you should almost receive it like a diss, almost like a backhanded compliment. Ooh, like that means I actually haven't done shit yet.
You haven't realized anything,
right?
Yeah, you haven't realized anything. It's like when
by definition, I'm like a disappointment.
Yeah,
I'm an underachiever.
You did not meet expectations.
I have thus far underachieved.
Yeah, but the ironic part is like, who set the expectation?
Yeah.
Who did? Like, is it your parents? Was it you? Or you say somewhere someone had an idea of what they thought you could be, and either they're hoping you can be, and you're just not being it. But again, that doesn't exist.
Like, don't. And like you said, like a lot of the high school kids, let's say, who are up and coming and chasing some of these dreams, they like. Well, like I don't want to go to bed early because I don't want to, all my friends are out doing this and that. Yeah, but all your friends are not pursuing these things that you're pursuing. So why do you want to act like them if you don't want to be like them? Right?
It makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me. And another example could be like, you look at kids' report cards, you know what I mean? Like, they get like a fucking D in English or a D in math. And they're like, well, no, like I know it. I just didn't study, or like I didn't, I could do it. I just, I didn't submit this on time. I didn't do that. I'm like,
isn't that worse?
No. I look at it and say, no. It doesn't say that in your report card. It doesn't say you had the ability to do it. You just chose not to do it. It doesn't say that in your report card. It says you're a dumbass that couldn't comprehend the material, so you got a fucking D.
Because the kid that actually didn't comprehend it and earned a D, his looks the same as yours looks.
Exactly.
Right? So it's not different.
It's exactly it. So it's like you're saying these things that, you have potential. It doesn't exist. It says right here in the report card, you did not understand the material. You have a D. It doesn't say you could have understood the material because of these things. It doesn't matter. The outcome was a D. Therefore, it's the same D as the guy that was trying.
Yeah.
You did not get it.
Right.
Call it what it is.
You know better off than he is or she is.
That's what you are. That's what we are objectively saying. This is the grade you got. That's what you are right now.
Yeah, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it, right?
You got to take it, I guess.
And what do you want to do about it?
Yeah.
Right? Because you're going to do the same course of action. It's like, well, I could get A's. Well, actually, your report cards say you're getting a lot of D's. So that's a very steep projection angle you're looking to change. It's not going to happen. But again, what are these kids learning? Where are they learning from? Like, what is the foundation they're kind of building these expectations on? Who's supporting these expectations? Or, like, maybe well-intentioned, but there has to be, we've said this before, there has to be just a dose of reality and realism. It's not personal. It's not malicious. It's simple. It's like when people say, like, like their coach is hard on them, or this was hard. Like, well, what do you mean by hard on them?
Yeah.
Define hard. Like, what was hard? Were they saying things that you didn't like to hear, but were they true?
Yeah.
Like,
truth hurts, man.
It's like, was it hard?
Doesn't make it any less true.
Coach is hard. And like, how? Like, was coach upset? Like, did he say, like, we should have been doing these things, we didn't do these things, and he got, like, what do you mean by hard on them? Like, that's so subjective. It's so relative. It's like, if you're talking about a guy who has, like, a lot of experience, and he's like, oh, he's hard on them. It's like, well, he's using his experience to help them get better. Essentially, he's trying to match up with what these guys say they have to do with the organization's vision, and they should line up, and something's not lining up. So he's trying to course correct. Anything that's hard on them, they're being hard on them, it's like, what's the alternative? Like, define hard. Hard how? Maybe hard for you to comprehend.
Yeah.
But maybe he's giving you what hard is supposed to be if you want to get to where you want to get to. It's not malicious. It's not personal. This is what it takes. It takes what it takes to get to where you want to get to. So there has to be like a very transparent understanding and just being educated. Like, hey, like parents, your kids aren't bubble wrapped. Stop bubble wrapping your fucking children. Stop it. It's
Well,
not
that's why I
helping.
think a lot of time the best, most supportive parents in the sporting realm are the ones who actually played something at a high level because they get it.
Yeah, you hope they get it. Yeah,
Right? A lot of time, like
you hope they get
a
it.
lot of time, it's the ones that, again, thought they had potential, thought they could have made it to a certain level, didn't. But then, like, they have the most to say about the kid's performance, about the feedback that the kid's receiving. That's the beauty of film, right?
Yeah,
Not that it would ever happen, but a coach could easily cut it on and say, "This is what I'm seeing. Like, am I lying when I say your kid didn't make this play, whatever the sport is, because they didn't? Do you think they made a good play here?" Then like you would obviously see a parent go, "Oh, shit, maybe I guess not." Like,
Yeah, it's like I said, we've talked multiple times on this kind of stuff. I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that. To me, it's just like, hey, parents want what's best for their kids, but if they have a desired ambition, support them on that ambition, and don't think that your support is like protect them from it or getting in the way. Like, don't bubble wrap your children. Like, try to build independence and autonomy by supporting them as they navigate challenges. Right? They navigate hard conversations. They navigate hard feedback. They navigate hard realities or hard truths. Right? Don't bubble wrap them to like soften the blow. Let them feel it. Let them experience it. Let them learn how to process it, learn how to navigate it, because that's how you build robust character anyway. That's how you build like ironclad resilience. It's not you trying to soften something. Like, it doesn't have to be softened. Let them see if they can handle a hard truth or a hard criticism or a hard feedback. Let them experience that so they can figure out how to navigate it so it becomes familiar versus foreign. And God forbid it happens in a high intense situation like a pro contract, something like that, where they don't know how to take it and it's foreign to them and they fall apart. They need to have that, make it be as familiar as possible, so when push comes to shove, they can handle it. It's not, they're not clueless. So, again, a lot of these things are well intentioned and everything else like that, but
kids have to learn to really hear the message and not the tone. That's the reality. There's one of my favorite videos. Like, it was a tweet a couple years ago. It was like these two Dallas Cowboys linebackers sitting on the bench, and the coach is just tearing a strip off them. I don't know what the play was. I don't know what the context was. They obviously didn't make a good play, and they're sitting there like this. If you're watching, you can see I'm just nodding. Not an ounce of no church hands, right? No pointing back. No retaliation. No stupid eye rolling. They're like this. They're just nodding. Maybe they said yes, coach. That's it. And it says right there on that tweet, kids, sometimes you got to hear the message, not the tone. These are guys getting paid millions, sure, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you can still practice
absolutely.
this same habit of receiving feedback properly when you're in these youth sports all the way up until that pro level, right? Like you said, you don't want to get blindsided by feedback like that once you get there because you've never received it, never learned how to honestly appreciate it, right?
Yeah. I think it comes down to, I think it's also it's dictated by effort. And a good example, like last night actually went really good with teams, for example. So it's kind of funny because usually like the last practice for volleyball before Halloween in this example, usually they all wear costumes.
Yeah.
So me being a dumbass, I thought last night was like the Halloween practice. So I dressed up as Spider-Man last night. I was the only one in the gym last night in a costume.
It's awful.
It was fucking, what looked to be really cool, all of a sudden I was weird. Yeah, I was holding an L last night. Like,
Yeah.
it was literally dressed as Spider-Man with like it's a one piece with the zip in the bag. It was hard to like go to the bathroom and shit. Like, I was like locked in from like 3 o'clock till 8. I'm like, okay, this team showed, like the first team of the night showed up, no costumes. I'm like, okay, next team for sure. And like Mac was watching, he's like, "Oh, you're 0 for 2 right now." I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of
Mac's getting that secondhand embarrassment. His
yeah,
skin's like itching. He's
yeah.
like,
I
oh,
was
this
like,
poor guy.
ooh, right. And then like our Nate, all them like start laughing. I'm like, shit. And I thought for sure the last team of the night, there would be like the last 2 teams that would have costumes.
Because last year they wore costumes.
Not
That team,
one,
yeah.
right? And I was the one that have a costume last year. So this year I was, racked up, ready to go. And I'm like the only one in the costume. I'm like, fuck me, man. But they actually had our Rapids girls had a really good lift last night, the 7 o'clock group. Some really cool performances. Like, I think Cam really stepped up. Like, she was benching 35 for 6. Like, she gave her best effort. It's cool to see the attitude shifts. And we had some teams beforehand, but what a trend I'm kind of seeing right now, and I think this is, we've had some conversations of how we always kind of navigate this, but you might have players that don't have any experience, like they're 15 years old, they've never been in a weight room, they've never strength trained, they don't know how to, and that's fine. I'm okay helping learn a skill. If we make good mistakes, and when I say good mistakes, I'm saying mistakes that are skill based, like you're trying your best, you have effort, but maybe like we have to do some corrections on form, posture, load, speed, whatever. Those things easy, positive to reinforce and improve.
Yeah, that's coaching.
That's coaching. But effort I cannot control.
That's babysitting, micromanaging.
I cannot control effort. So for example, we had a player, who struggled with a side plank or whatever like that. She's like, I can't do it. I'm like, well, let's try. Let's just try holding for like, 5 seconds, or like do 1 rep of a leg raise or something. Try. And then they do it, and all of a sudden, it's just go down, start laughing, and then now...
It's like a defense mechanism, right?
Yes, it's insecurity. That's what it is. Like,
totally.
you don't want to look stupid. You're not capable,
Yeah.
so you don't want to look stupid. So you probably could do like 5 seconds or a rep or two, which eventually she should do a rep or two, and she was fine. But the point being is, like, you're capable of doing it. You just don't want to look stupid for not being able to do it.
Yeah.
And so you think your defense mechanism is, I got to goof around.
And they look around for someone to validate them. Like the laugh is loud enough, and like, oh my God, like, see me?
Their act only works on an audience.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Totally.
So you have to tell these players, like, listen, I get it. It's tough. Just try. We can make the corrections or the adjustments if you're trying. They're like, well, what am I doing wrong? It's like, I can't tell you what you're doing wrong because you haven't done anything.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you haven't tried.
You haven't tried.
Kids look at a box that they're going to jump on. Oh, I can't do it. Then I can't help you. Because you're not willing to try it, I cannot help you.
Exactly.
I can't.
And again, it's a maturity thing. It's an insecurity thing. And those things are things that they have to just start to kind of navigate through 1 inch at a time to make it more comfortable. But it's not helping that they try to like get an audience around them to support them, to validate them, because now it's taken away from their teammates. My rule is simple. It's like, hey, if you're not going to make yourself better, don't make your teammates worse.
Yeah, positivity and negativity are equally contagious. Right? So it's which one do you want to foster?
You can't take away, you can't take away from others if you're not going to work on yourself.
Right.
Right. So in those situations, it's like, hey, if you're not willing to just try, don't waste your time. Don't waste our time. You can go sit out.
Yeah.
That's fine. Go sit out. You don't have to do this. Right. I wish you could, stay and get better. I'm happy to help you when you're ready to actually try. Until then, you're taken away from our ability to get better now because you're making a scene.
Yeah.
You might as well go sit out. Simple.
I think I'm like a pretty easygoing guy. The other night I was raised my voice with a certain team for the first time, and they're all looking at me like I got 3 heads. I said, listen, I'm only going to get mad at 2 situations, really, when I feel like you're not being safe or you're not trying. Those are the only 2 fucking situations where you're going to piss me off. And they're staring at me, and I'm like, unsafe just can't happen. Lack of effort, I said, I don't have fucking patience for it. I don't have time for it. For the same reasons you just said. There's enough kids here trying to get better. Your lack of effort and trying to be, bringing people down with you, I said, I'm just not going to tolerate it. Right? Yeah. And at least, I did have a good response, but.
Yeah, it was, again, majority of that group were really good. And I think what I did, I thought that was helpful, was like after we finished B series, because again, some were kind of goofing. I said, look, I brought them in, I said, so what are you doing? I said, look around. At the time, you had like Picard doing something crazy. You had Alex doing something crazy, Nate Vandermeer, Skeldon. All these guys and girls were doing some incredible things. I said, look around. I said, he started when he was younger than you. He started when he was younger than you. She started at the same age as you. Whatever, right? It was like, look around at the effort they're putting forth.
Yeah.
Right? There's no fear for them of failing. I'm okay failing and make it a good fail. Like, you give your best shot. You keep it safe. We try. If we miss, I'm okay with that. We'll get better next time. What I can't handle is the lack of effort and your ability to focus in on just you trying.
I can't deal with it.
I can't deal with it because now it's no longer you. It's poisoning the group you're working in.
Right.
Right? Another good example, team last night, we had all the girls doing great, and you had, a couple girls that were doing better, and then you had one girl that was really, really good. So I'm like talking, I'm like, hey, like, are you the leader in this group right now? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, you're really pushing.
I think you should be.
I said, you're pushing really hard. I said, why don't you hold your teammates accountable? Help them push.
Yeah.
She's like, I told them to. Like, I'm telling them to. I said, you have to do more than that. I said, just like I'm trying to. It's like, think about it this way. It's like, you can't win this game on your own, right? You need 5 other girls beside you to help you do your job. If you're the best outside hitter on your team,
and no one can set you the ball,
or get to you the ball, like, you can't do your job.
Yeah.
So I said, you need to take that just like this right now. It's like, you're doing the best you can. You need them to do the best they can, so they can do their job to help you do your job. Right. It's out of a place of love that you're holding them accountable, just like I'm holding you accountable. Right. It's not of malicious intent. It's like, you're not being an asshole. It's like, it's because you care so much that you want to see them succeed.
It's the point of playing team sports.
That's the whole point. So it's like, you have like the other girls, again, still doing better, but not to the same effort, right? In terms of effort compared to the other person, you're like, hey, like, you have an ability right now to lead from the front and be on them. If you're sitting there waiting around to do your turn, like, be on them, be like, hey, I'm here to support you. Let's count it out. Let's go. Nope, you got more. Let's put a little more on there. Let's do it. Things like that, right? But again, some of them are still young, but they're not that young.
Right.
So it's navigating that, like.
Some of them are 2 years away from being at a collegiate level.
Yeah. Really?
Don't wait till then to figure it out.
No.
You know what I mean? Do not. You're just doing yourself such a disservice.
No.
Like,
there has to be a level of no different than, we always preach, it's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? Again, we saw a lot. I told those girls last night too, I said, hey, You did what I was told. Hey, I did whatever it was, like 4 sets of 5 on squat. Congratulations, you checked the box. How'd you squat? Were you doing the same way as you were always doing the week before, or the same as your teammates? Even though I've seen you do like double that, but you just did it because it was there.
That's the one that kills me.
That blows my mind. It's like you're
when the kids said, "Hey, what are we doing?" I said, "No, what are you doing? What are they doing? You don't have to do the same weight." This is like what Luke was saying when he was going to the military testing, which I love this example. He's like, we're talking about the standards that they have to hit, and he's like, yeah, but here's the thing, like, whatever the number was, I got to hit like 60 push-ups in a row. But he's like, they want to know that, like, okay, yeah, I have to hit 60 at least, but if they know I can hit 90, they want to see me try to hit 91. Like, that's the point, right? So you get sometimes in the team setting, the kids are like, well, we're doing 20s on this. I'm like, well, you could do 25. Well, it's not that different. But it is, though. Because over time, your 25 is going to become a 50 or whatever if you keep having that mentality to push. And you know what happens when you push up to 50? These other kids that can barely do the 20, they're going to be up around 30 at some point, right? Yeah. That's the rising tide or whatever that raises all ships.
Yeah, there has to be, like, it's a whole team broken into groups, and you have to have competitiveness within your group. And that's why, again, we had some great performances last night. Like, a big shout out to Cam, if you ever listen to this podcast. I think her attitude and her effort have really grown to the point where I'm like, man, I'm noticing. Like, I'm noticing that she's trying. She's really trying, and she was, and she got that scoring feeling when she's going like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, start with 1.
How are we going to find out?
Yeah, I said, you got to do whatever it was. I was like, you got to do 6 reps. I said, I know for a fact you can do 3 good ones. I said, let's do 3. And then when you finish your 3, just hold the bar there, take a breath, and then we'll do ones. Do one good one. One good one. And then she got 6. But she didn't know she could. I'm like, that squirmy feeling, I told the girl, I said, that squirmy feeling is a good thing. It means you're a little nervous because that's you trying to find out. You're curious of what you're capable of. Yeah. Let's go find out what you're capable of. Doesn't mean you're going to hit all the time. That's fine. But at least we'll know. And then we can go from there versus like never find out.
Yeah, I'm squirmy. I'm nervous. You ever been nervous in a game?
Yeah.
Probably.
Why? Because why? You don't know.
So why don't we practice it right now?
Yeah, you don't know.
Flex that mental muscle, right?
You don't know if you're going to beat that team. They're good. I heard this thing. That's heavy. They're good. They're fast. It's like, well, let's find out. Like, the only way we're going to find out is if you give your effort, the best of your ability, at least you can make peace with the fact that I gave everything I had, and now I know today on this day I either did this or didn't do this. But at least I know, and I can go to the drawing board and do something different and try again. So
there's a team I trained the other night that had like the 3 groups, right? 3 groups of 3, whatever. And after the deep, it was a very okay session at best, I'll say. And we even reflected upon it as a group after, and like they all said, like, yeah, it was okay. Like, felt like someone was missing. I went to the one group after, and I said to 2 of the athletes, I was like, you 2 can never be in the same group ever again. And at first they probably looked at me like, oh, were we being lazy? Were we goofing off? Like why not? And they were like, well, we work really well together. I said, yeah, but the problem is, like you said, this is a team sport. I'm like, you 2 are the best leaders on the team. So I need that to spread out so I need that to become contagious. I need that to become infectious. So it's actually taken as a compliment, but that's the reason why you guys can't work together, because I need you to bring some of that energy and, you know what I mean, bring it over here and quote unquote infect the rest of the team with it.
I think, again, it's always like, team training, everything else like that, team practices, it's a lot of managing chaos and managing different personalities and how they receive feedback. But it's nice when you have like a couple out, like all-stars, I would say, and you can start peppering them in the groups. If nothing else, you could say, hey, this is hopefully going to raise the expectation within the group that they can't just be comfortable or complacent anymore because that person is pushing a lot harder and they won't allow you to fall behind. So it's necessary, right? And again, in the example of volleyball, it's a very high-energy sport, right? We need high fives. We need high fives. We need good jobs. We need like some energy, like some kind of catalyst to ignite a spark, right?
And not just when things are going well.
No.
I love how they come together even after they get scored on, and hopefully they reflect. And the teams that don't do it, they don't play well. They don't win games.
Certain sports have like an energy demand. Like there is an energy demand to it, and volleyball is like, I would say, at the pinnacle of that stuff, right? Basketball being second. Like there's an energy demand and camaraderie. Like you got to pass on good energy, right? You need a good bench, like cheering you on. You need all that. So it's like if you can bring some of that energy in here and do the exact same thing, make it more comfortable. But then you also have to do it like, again, this is foreign to you, right? Obviously some girls have been training for years, so it's less foreign. But for those that are uncomfortable doing it, it's like, well, make something familiar so it's more comfortable. But you have to try. You have to try to overcome those things. Otherwise, you're bubble wrapping yourself.
Yeah, I hate that. I can't do it. I say, how do you know?
Like, says who? And again,
don't know.
Someone will always have excuses like, oh, my doctor did this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like you went.
It really doesn't matter.
You went to practice and you're fine. Yeah. So what's the difference?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm asking you to do like a body weight good morning or a body weight RDL. You can't do it.
But what if I said, bend down and tie your shoes right now?
You're fine.
You would do it. It's
right?
not different.
Or like,
it's not different.
I said, how'd you play volleyball? It doesn't bother me when I do that. I'm like,
fly around the court, like throw yourself, dive,
twisting,
this and that.
turning, chaotic shit,
jumping, landing.
Yeah, but in a controlled atmosphere, you can't just do that. Like, okay, well, you got to kind of make it make sense here. But it comes down to again, like, well, what do you want and how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And it's like, it goes back to, do you want it? Then these are the things you need to do. It's not personal. You need to do this. You need to be able to do this. Otherwise, it's literally not, it's going to hinder your ability to do what you want to do.
They almost need like a auto response. Like, like some of these Instagram, you comment this, you get the auto response. So they almost need like the, I don't want to go to sleep early. Like the auto response. Okay, no worries, then you're not going to get what you want. I don't want to eat properly today. Okay, that's fine, then you're not going to get what you want. Like they need like something to like, boom, pop up and just like smack them in the face and just remind her like, that's totally fine. Just understand you're not going to get what you want. Okay, thanks. Like there has to be like a, devil on your shoulder type thing. But
and we try to, we try to have a flow with all of our team sessions too, right? We try to like make sure that, there's always some sort of routine where girls always have something or guys have something to do. They're not waiting around too long and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of like thought that goes into achieving the outcomes that we want to achieve, managing the flow and managing the energy. There's so many like different faucets that really people don't understand about the team training environment, right? It's not like you could have all the tools in the world, but it's like, how are you able to like get all these different bodies with different abilities to like get the effect you want using all these different tools and everything else like that, right? So at the most basic level, it's kind of crazy. You have some outliers that you're like, man, you can really push. Yeah. But it's like your group is kind of holding you back a little bit.
You're smacking your head on this imaginary ceiling.
Yeah, like but again, that's just the art of coaching, the art of programming, and making sure there's like a flow to it. But to recap, I guess, is just I was very happy with overall, like a lot of my girls last night. They did overall phenomenal job. I love seeing some people that kind of came out of the woodwork a little more and gave effort. Maybe, came out of their shell. It was refreshing to see, and even girls that may have been more timid before, like they started like pushing and asking questions. I'm like, okay, this is good. Like we're starting to get it. We're slowly starting to get it, which is great. And again, some of them had an optional, it was an optional night last night. They didn't have to come. Still some, optional, right?
How many optional sessions did you ever skip?
Never. Remember I said if you want to be great, there's no option. You have this illusion of choice. There is no choice. Right. There is no choice. I remember it doesn't matter. There's this illusion of choice you don't have. So it was nice to see that the girls actually showed up. Even though they had the option, they still showed up and did what they knew they needed to do, which is what you're trying to encourage, right?
Right.
So, it's one of those things where I'm excited to see where that goes. But with some of the other groups and teams, it's like they're not quite there yet. They're not quite grasping the effort. And the funny thing is, like, if we're trying to progress our programs, like we're trying to we have like this hierarchy of things we're looking at, okay, we should go here and now we'd like to go here and like to go there. Right. We really can't with some of these groups.
That's come up recently too, yeah. I've told these kids.
We really can't. It's like we really should still be back here and just really getting good at this again. Like it might be boring and mundane, but we have to. Why? It's like because you guys
haven't earned anything higher than that.
You haven't tried to try. You're still learning how to try. We can't even learn to train yet. You're have to learning how to just try. Right. So I would hope that would be kind of universal. You know what I mean? Like even for me, if you put me on hockey skates and like I don't know how to skate very well or handle a stick, but if someone said, okay, go over there, just get from here to there, I'm probably gonna try as hard as I can. I'm gonna fuck it up.
Probably break my leg before I quit though.
Yeah, it's not gonna be from me. It's not gonna be from a lack of effort. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fuck it up, but not from a lack of effort. Right. These girls like, hey, like I said before, I'm okay with you fucking this up, but it shouldn't be from a lack of effort, from lack of trying. You're not even trying to try. We can't even talk training. Right. We can't even talk improvement. We can't talk progress. We can't talk performance. Those things are not going to be in the conversation. Yeah. We have to go back to like the most elementary level of just, do you care enough to even find out? Yeah. Like, do you care to learn or practice this foreign thing? How did you even get into a volleyball court or a hockey team or a baseball team? You just showed up one day and all of a sudden you're on the A team?
Yeah, you had a first day there too. Yeah. Where you didn't know what the hell you were doing, where you were probably nervous, where you were scared.
Exactly.
It's not different.
It's not different, right? It's just a different a different realm. So, it's that is always going to be like the deja vu is always going to having like those handful of folks you're really going to have to just reinforce the ability to try. And I wish there was a better way to teach it, but it's more just like, hey, we'd like to do all those things to help you learn how to try, but we're also not sacrificing the other 12 people because you're refusing to.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's not happening. So for the good of the team, you're better off sitting over there and not participating because I'm not letting these people get worse.
That's what I've tried to tell some of the teams recently too. I'm like, guys, the potential blessing or a curse of team sports is that you have to rely on the people around you. So whether it's going to be a blessing or a curse is up to how you guys act and carry yourself and train and practice and everything. That's going to determine whether you're like, oh, God, I got to rely on these 5 guys around me, like you said in the case of volleyball, or, oh, thank God I got these 5 guys around me because I've trained with them, I've sweat with them, I've bled with them, and I know what I'm getting out of them as far as effort, right? The result will take care of itself, but the effort and the approach,
Yeah.
This is just another medium through which we can practice all those things.
Which is crazy because if you're talking about volleyball, there's a lot of things outside your control. You don't dictate how tall you are. Sorry.
Right.
You can't pick your parents. You can't pick your genetics. You don't get to dictate how much playing time you get. You don't get to dictate the reps you get at practice. Those are all things that you are just presented with.
Right.
Physicality is the thing you can control.
Yeah, write all those things down and light them on fire because you can't adjust them, so it doesn't matter.
Physicality is the thing you can control. And ironically, the more physical you are, you'll probably be presented with more opportunities to do the latter that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Right? So it's crazy how, like, I tried to give some perspective to the group last night too. It's like some of our best volleyball players that jump the highest, that can hit the hardest, that can move the best, they can squat like their body weight on the front squat, maybe like a little bit more. Here's the speeds. I said they can probably do one chin up, body weight, maybe two, and they're, bigger, taller girls. And they're able to like hit this jump metric and everything else like that. I'm like, that's just their ability to be physical.
Yeah.
I said, and they started at your age, a little bit younger.
Not being able to do those things.
Yeah.
And they could have easily said, fuck it, I'm not even going to try. But they chose not to, and now look.
A great example, I love Cassie Robinson. She was my blossoming story on that one. It's like, hey, I can think of 1,000 examples, but I'll use Cassie in this context. But Cassie was great. Like, I started training her, 15 maybe?
Yeah.
15 when she was with Rapids. And then her last couple of years of high school, she really started to come into her body, right? She's hit her height, she's starting to build some mass, and she's training hard, and she's practicing hard, and she really clicked into like, I really want to play post-secondary, and then she became really tactical. So you can see just the effort towards her craft of like, she's watching the film, she's going over her stats, she's getting frustrated about the right things, and so she could see she's really locked in on like, I'm really trying to get to be the best I can so I can earn my right to play. And then being physical was a big part of that, right? She'd always try. Even on days like she was like, feeling beat up, she'd still try her best and we'd make the adjustments. But then she really just hammered. She took off. She was always open and curious to trying these things to get better. And like she was doing hooks, she was doing like bands and speed squats and jumps and all these crazy things. Like she was just developing her physicality, and that led to good opportunities.
Right.
Right? Like she was skilled and she has physicality. Great. Best of both worlds. Fantastic. And I think of 1,000 examples, but that was a girl that started off not having a lot of those things earlier on.
Who probably 100 times could have said, you know what, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Easy to look around the room and say, other people are doing these things. I'm not there yet. I'm going to get discouraged. It's not for me. Could have. Chose not to, and now look.
Exactly. So, but again, it just goes back to what we talked about earlier. What do you want? Is it what you really want, or is it something that you wish?
Right.
And do your actions line up with the expectation? Like, you can't have post-secondary aspirations and make house league decisions.
Right.
You can't do that. Cassie had post-secondary aspirations and did
acted like it.
Yeah, did post-secondary actions.
Right.
Right.
There's like there's the want, there's the wish, and then there's kind of that other factor. I think I've said to you before. Was like in my head when I was trying to pursue playing university football, I was like, I need to do this. I can't picture life without this. Like the prospect of me not doing it scared the fuck out of me. Right. I was like, I can't live without this. I don't have this is my whole identity. Whether or not that's healthy, we can argue. But I was like, I can't picture a life where I don't have this. So like, I would lose sleep over like, have I done enough? Have I done enough? Am I doing the right things? Like, so there's the want, the wish, which is I think good comparison. But like, you almost have to really need it in your head, in your heart, in your soul. That's how I believe.
Yeah,
I can't picture life without this. Like I'm lost without it. So I need to do these things.
Yeah, and like I said, we're very fortunate to have a lot of great examples of people like that. It's more just getting that message out. And the funny thing is, like, we can talk about this shit till we're blue in the face. It's, are they receptive to listening and actually like reflecting on if this is something that resonates with them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The other thing too is telling the kids, I can't want it more than you.
No.
And for a lot of you guys, I do, and I'm just telling you, it's not going to end well. It's just
no, because then at some point, I think any coach that starts to tune out, it's like, okay, this is as good as we're going to get, and that's okay. But it's like, then we have to manage, like, oh, we're going to do top 20. It's like, maybe, but it's improbable.
If we get lucky, maybe. Is that you want to be a gambler? You want to roll the dice? I don't.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like gambling. It's like I like having, like, I like to hedge my bets on the things I know are probably going to likely happen.
If we're going to gamble, let's at least boost our odds.
Yeah, really. Let's
right?
fucking...
Let's get some minus odds going here.
Yeah, let's hedge them a little bit. So I think this goes back to the passion, right? Like, you care enough to deeply invest in something so much that you're willing to risk the heartbreak or the disappointment of it. That's the point, though. I wonder if enough young players feel that way about something.
Right.
Like, that is the question to me. Because, again, the effort thing, I think it's just from a lack of caring enough to be deeply invested that you are prepared to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I think that is a big, crucial thing. It's like no different than how we invest our energy into coaching, or how these players invest their whole thing in their careers into becoming post-secondary starter. It's like at some point those elite players, they invested and cared so deep enough that they were okay with the consequence of being heartbroken, being disappointed, being hurt, being sick, being injured, whatever. But they were invested enough versus these people that kind of dip their toe in and they're too afraid to invest deeply enough for the repercussions of what if I don't get it? You know what I mean? I think it's literally just a lack of.
Yeah. Hey, what if you do?
Yeah.
Right? Let's flip it. What if I don't get it? What
if
you do get
that's
it?
Where I think that's where all the frustration from coaching comes from. I think that's where the frustration from sport coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, even great players, right, when their teammates aren't on the same level. It's because it really just comes down to because someone is so deeply invested in what they do.
Right.
They're so deeply invested in doing the things they need to do, regardless of how they feel, that they are okay suffering the consequences of defeat, disappointment, and heartbreak.
Right.
And that leads to emotional responses, which is fair because that's the consequence of it. Right? Something you don't give a shit about or don't invest deeply, and you're not going to care about it if it doesn't go your way because you didn't invest enough anyway to have reciprocation.
Right.
So why bother?
Right.
Right? It's either do you care enough? Okay, great. Then we're going to have to go all in here, and we're going to be okay with the consequences, good or bad. We have to. That's the risk we talked about before. That's the risk of being elite. The greater the elite level you're striving for, the greater the risk of disappointment, the greater the risk of consequence. We have to accept that. Otherwise, don't invest at all. It's no different than investing. Think of the stock market. You want to have a high 15% interest on return, it's a high risk stock. You might lose 15 to 20%. Or you're going to stay, I'll do like a TFSA at 2 or 3%. Yeah, you'll probably get 2 or 3%. You're not going to lose much, but you're also not going to gain much either.
Right.
So what do you want to do? How deep are you going in here?
Right.
Right? But the nice part is, compared to the stock market, you control a good chunk of I can heighten the odds of me getting 50% return on this shit.
Right.
Right? But yeah, I think that'd be my big message to kids if they're open to listening to it. But
the other big thing too would be like even amongst your team, like choose wisely who you hang around, who you hang out with, who you surround yourself with. Not that you can't be friends with everybody, but at the end of the day, when you have like, a team of 11, 12 people, whatever, and you can clearly see who really wants it versus who wishes or who needs it. Trend more to, hanging out with these certain people, and I think that's going to set you up for success too.
I think that's just a maturity thing.
Yeah.
I think especially as I got older, your circle should become more narrow. I think it's just a part of life, number one. But you start to surround yourself with people that are doing successful things or doing the things that you emulate to do or have the same drive, whatever field they're doing, at least have the same passion. Like you hang around with deeply invested people because you all feel the same way about something.
Yeah.
Right? And that helps you all thrive because now you have a collaborative village, so to speak, that can support you on this endeavor, regardless if it's in the same field or not. It's besides the point. It's the value of the investment that you're all willing to sacrifice. So if you're a young athlete, I get it. It's tough to say no or tough to kind of avoid. But the reality is going to be, it's like at some point, if you're going to the next level, you're not going to be around those people anyway. It's not malicious. Again, it's not for a lack of I don't want to hang out with you. It's just like, hey, we're on two different paths. I'm going this way, you're going that way. I wish you well. It's not like, it's like, hey, I don't want you to starve. You're just not welcome at my table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope you can eat. It's just not going to be at my table.
Right.
That's fine. That's not mean. Again, it's not mean. It's just that's what's necessary to grow. Right? Like it's no different than you're in high school. You could be a phenomenal athlete, but you're hanging around like drug addicts. At some point, man, it's going to go one of two ways for you.
Yeah.
Which way do you want to go? Someone's feelings are going to hurt. Yours or your friends.
Right.
It's not personal, right? But you're going to have to make the positive decision here, and that's a tough decision to make. But are you prepared to make those tough decisions? Like everything else we talked about, it's going to matter, right? So.
Dude, I had tons of buddies in high school, and I hung out with like two people. Like actively hung out with like two people. Johnny Curran, pretty much. And my buddy Connor Herday. That's pretty much it. The people who I looked and said, these guys actually have the same vision as me, and they're doing the things to like hopefully achieve what I want to achieve, and they both did end up achieving those things, I'm like, these are the guys I want to be around.
That's why that's why successful people have successful friends.
Right.
Whatever your definition of success is.
Yeah,
right?
of course, yeah.
They're around successful people because those are the conversations they have. They're about growth in any realm. Like surround yourself with people that talk about growth, not gossip, growth. You know what I mean? Like people that are like generating ideas. They're talking schedules. They're talking projects. They're talking what's up and coming, what they're excited about, right? You're sharing war stories on things like that didn't go well. You're laughing about it or whatever. You're going through those things of like, yeah, here's like a recent setback I had. Here's what we're trying to do to get over. Like those are all positive conversations, right? As a younger person, I get it. High school and you're still maturing, but it's like, how are you being introduced to having those conversations? Like when you're around people, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What's the discussions look like? Are people just gossiping? Are they doing stupid things that, again, if it's not helping you, it's by default going to hinder you.
Yeah, like you said, you're still maturing, but You can mature at a lot faster rate when you're hanging around the right people.
Yeah, like
right?
The whole point of maturing is you don't have to always know what you want or how to get there, but you learn what you don't want.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to like slowly get away from what you don't want because that you know to be true. Like, oh, I don't want to do drugs. I don't like that. Great. So by default, you know that that's not what you want. So you're not going to go near that.
Yeah. Those habits are not going to carry me any closer to my
Exactly.
goals. So
but you know that,
yeah.
right? It's like, well, I don't really know what it takes to be elite yet, but I know it's not
what it
that.
doesn't take.
Yeah, I know it's not that. So I'm going to go over here
Yeah.
and try this, right? So you start to kind of just slowly narrow in your guardrails of where your circle lies, and that's where it goes when you get older too, because then you have a better understanding of who you are, what you want, where you're going. Okay, these are the people that tend to have the same vision. Well, great. I resonate with them. I don't resonate with them for a reason. It's not personal. It's just some personalities don't mesh. And that's okay. That's completely fine. It just depends on what you want and how you respond. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Other than that, I think we can kind of probably wrap things up on that note. But I just want to give a big shout out. Like I said, a lot of the girls last night, like I said, Cam did fantastic. Maddie, I love her energy. Maddie's always like a shining light for the team. She did a phenomenal job. Devaya, she's always working hard, and shout out to Naya too. She came in the morning, like to make up for it. Like coming from Fort Erie, got here at 7 a.m. and got after it. I'm like, good for you guys. Like that is the dedication that you'd like to see. Those are good habits. Like I'm sure it was tough to get up in the morning and drive and ask your folks for rides, but you're doing the thing. Like you're doing what you need to do.
That's someone who needs it.
That's someone who needs it.
She doesn't want it. She doesn't wish it. She needs it.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. And regardless if you get to where you want to get to as an outcome, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're doing the things that build character that you can reflect fondly on the process and say, hey, I did all those things. That was tough to do, but I did it. Exactly. You're building robustness and character and integrity. And what you're now going to say is that your word and your ability to communicate holds merit, right? Like if Nevia comes up to me and says, I'm going to do that, I believe her.
Yeah.
I believe her. Versus the other girl's like, oh, I can do that. I don't believe
Maybe, but we may never know.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've never kept your word to yourself.
Right.
Right? So why would I take your word for it too? I'm gonna do that, yeah. It's like with NC volleyball, like a couple of years ago. Guys were like, we're gonna win the national championship. I'm like, and again, shout out to all those guys, like great group, to hang around. But at that time, you're saying all those things and none of your actions have ever been on the projection line of we're gonna be national champions. You didn't qualify for playoffs. You're not doing the things to show me that you want to qualify for playoffs, much less win the playoffs.
Yeah. If you look at what the national championship winning team is probably doing and ask yourself if you're doing those things, if you're not, you don't even deserve to speak that sentence.
Let's be realistic. You don't even fucking believe the shit you just said.
Yeah.
We're going to win a national championship. You don't truly believe that. You just said that because you feel that's something you had to say.
Next year's our year.
That's something you feel you have to say.
We're moving different next year. We're going crazy this offseason.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that fucking shit. That was fucking, yeah. I'm not going to name his ass, but I remember that guy too. Right after we lost the playoffs.
People love those deep future things because it's like it's far away. I can actually I can convince myself that I can be that guy between now and then.
I remember that. We had right after that season, the guy comes in like, oh no, I'm gonna get right this season. No. I'm like, sure.
This guy's favorite statement.
Next year we're doing it next year. So he shows up pretty consistently for 2 weeks, maybe 3. All of a sudden less. And you're like, man, this is what I'm talking about. You don't even believe the shit you say. You just say those things because you feel that's the thing to say because it hypes you up, makes you feel like you're on track. It's like, but you don't truly believe it. And why would I believe it? Because you have no history of doing any of those things. So why now? Why now? I'm not saying you can't pivot. I've seen people pivot too, right? But I know what it looks like. And it doesn't look like that. And it's clearly dictated by your actions. Like I said, that potential, we're going to win next year, potential, your fucking line's going this way. Your projection is not on path.
We could win next year. However many teams are in the CCAA, yeah. Arguably, any team could win next year. Boreal could win next year, but you know what's probably not going to happen? They're probably not going to win. You know why? Here's 100 reasons why.
Here's your track record. Look at the history. It's like, hey, that's where you want to go? Where have you been? And
what are you doing different now to be different than that?
Exactly. Even being where it's like, hey, these are the things that did not work, and you're going to just repeat them? So why the fuck would we think that it's going to be any different this year?
Definition of insanity.
You're just saying the words because you feel that things that you don't believe your own bullshit.
Right.
You don't believe your own bullshit. You wish. You don't want it that bad.
You see the picture of the guys with the gold medal around their neck and their mouth, and you go, man, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Of course it would. Of course it would be fucking nice. That's the whole point of trying.
That's the concept. That's the risk. Like right now, the Blue Jays go in the World Series.
Yeah.
You know how heartbroken it would be if they lose?
Yeah.
But that's the risk. The greater the pinnacle, the greater the glory, the greater the risk of disappointment, heartbreak, and defeat.
Right. And the greater the magnitude of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's the whole point of what we're trying to do. Like you're trying to achieve what less than 1% of 1% will ever get to do, but the rewards of getting it will be phenomenal. but you have to earn that. And just as likely, you have to accept the risk of how big the magnitude of defeat will be and how the repercussions of that will be. Right? These guys talking about national championship, you're not invested because you don't know what that looks like. You haven't done anything that signals that it's even on the right course. You're full of shit. Plain and simple. You're full of shit. You did the same thing last year. You're going to do it again this year. And sure enough, same thing fucking happened. People believe their own bullshit.
If you're just going to do the same thing and hope that you get a better result, you're almost banking on the fact that you hope that people who won are going to just do less, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
not going to do any more, but I hope to God they don't do any more.
If they do less than whatever it took them to get that, then we might get lucky. Is that how you want to live your life?
No, it's completely ridiculous in my mind. I don't, and that's, again, it goes, just to tie it off with a bow, be honest. You know what I mean? Be honest. If you said,
be for real, bro.
If you said, hey,
keep it a buck.
If you said, you know what, we're probably not going to win a national championship, like maybe we'll make playoffs, but like, yeah, that's a likelier projection for you, probably.
It's not even being complacent; it's being realistic.
Exactly. And I hate, again, people say, well, you know, that's not me shutting down your goals, but you can't just say words and everyone thinks it's gonna have merit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just say the thing and all of a sudden everyone just has to steel clap behind you like, yeah. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit.
It's enabling.
That's enabling. Like, that's not helping. It's like, where in their history of doing anything has that even become a likelihood?
Yeah.
You have no actions to even signal a spark of that happening. You can't just seal clap, because if you don't seal clap and say, yeah, you're right, then now you're a cynical guy.
Prick, yeah.
You're a prick. Like, oh, you're shutting down their hopes and dreams.
God, you're so negative.
You're so negative. You're shutting down their hopes and dreams. Like, no, I'm not shutting down anything.
Dude,
right?
Look at every post-game interview with an athlete from the winning team of anything, and they say, like, what did it take to get here? And they're like, sacrifice, we went through so much. You ever hear one of them go, oh man, we never saw this coming, because we just, we practiced a little bit, watched film a couple times, and like, wow, this is like pretty great.
I just said the word. Next thing you know, I'm here.
We never saw this coming. We we practiced a little bit. We did a couple workouts, and damn, this is cool. Never.
No.
It's always like, blood, sweat, and tears. We went through so much. Of course, because that's what it takes.
Yeah, it's again, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's too enabling. I hate the fact that when someone says, we're going to win the national championship, someone just says, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Or like I said last week or the week before, okay, these are the things it's probably going to take. Are you doing those things? And that list of things is going to make people squirm, right? It starts from recruiting and goes all the way to how we carry ourselves, how we practice, how we receive feedback, how we give feedback, how we do everything. Are you doing those things? Are you willing to do those things? And they're going to fucking squirm. They're not going to be able to, right?
Sure, let me backtrack then. If someone says, I'm going to win the national championship this year, I'm going to throw out the list.
Yeah.
How many boxes are you checking?
Yeah.
None? Then I'm going to say, no, you're not.
No, you're not, and you don't deserve to.
Exactly.
No, you're not, and you don't deserve to.
You didn't earn shit.
Nothing.
You deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. Nobody deserves anything. The only thing you deserve is what you earn, which goes back to potential being proven. If it's not, it does not exist.
Right.
Be honest. Just be fucking honest. You have no track record of success. You have no track record of work ethic, no track record of discipline. Just to say the fucking buzzwords, we're going to win a national title because rah, 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 that's what you should say. And no one has the decency to be transparent with you, who cares enough about you to be honest with you back and be like, based on these things, you're not willing to do these things. You're not going to do that until you do these things, or even have a chance of chance of getting what you want to do these things. I'm not going to enable you. I'm not going to be a part of that conversation. I'm not going to clap for you because you're just throwing out words. How is that any different from anything else doing anything? Like someone's
because now you're actually a piece of shit because you're enabling.
Yeah.
Right. If you just sit around and go, yeah, you're right. You will do it this year.
It's like someone saying like, I'm gonna fucking go be a millionaire tomorrow. I'm gonna be a millionaire.
You got a job?
You have a job? No. No? Do you have a budget? No.
That's okay. You're gonna get it though, buddy. You'll get it.
You're gonna be a million. Yeah, man. You go queen. You go king. No, you're full of shit.
Yeah,
that's enabling. It's enabling. It's not cynical. It's not mean. That's me caring enough to be like, you're not doing any of these things. You're not doing it. You're not going to get what you want because you're not doing anything.
Because nobody wins that level of something by luck.
Nothing.
And that's what you are relying on is luck because you're not doing the things you're supposed to do.
You don't, like I said, elite aspirations, elite decisions, hard, grueling, tough, disciplined, consistent actions with a likelihood of failure that ensues.
Right.
And you're not doing any of it. You're not deeply invested enough to accept the consequences. So you say these polite buzzwords to make yourself feel good, but deep down, be honest, you don't believe any of it.
Right, yeah. Lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me.
No. You know what I mean? You just kind of do this. Yeah, okay. Like I said, never had a tough guy tell me how tough he was. Never had a smart person tell me how smart they were. They just are. Their actions dictate it, and then you get the gist. It's market value. You're not it, right? You can tell me your house is worth $2 million. The market's putting $500,000. Sorry, man. Your house is $500,000. I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter. You're not doing anything to make it prove to me you're a $2 millionaire. Anyway, that's my tangent on on the last week of October. All right. We'll wrap things up there. As always, guys, we have subscribers and we have non-subscribers. The way I figure it, you might as well be a subscriber because that's what all the cool kids are doing. I'm not saying just, jump off a cliff because they're cool kids, but, subscribing to the show is great for information. You want to be a part of the crew, right? So be a subscriber. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on YouTube.
Ain't hard to find.
Yeah, you know where to find us. Like, share with your friends, have a conversation, go in the comments, let's spark some debates. We're all for it, okay? So that's all for this episode, guys, and we will see you all next time.
Peace.